Hey everybody, GReimer here, coming at you once again from the Lost Isle Zoo here on the ZAWA Together server. Sorry for the lack of ZAWA last week, actually. There was like a little bit. There was like an hour of it or so. A live stream that got ended early. I was not feeling very well, and it kind of hit me suddenly, so I kind of had to get going. I do apologize for that, but we're back at it today. It's been like a couple weeks, all right, because we've got a lot to do on the zoo, like landscaping wise. So I'm doing a lot more live streams, more so than episodes. So, but yeah, this week we're gonna do an episode, all right? This week we're adding an exhibit, all right? So we're gonna get right to it. Yeah, well, we did. Well, I'm flying suddenly on accident. What we did get finished was we got those palm trees right over there finished. That was it. That was a really bad live stream. I do apologize for that. You know, my stomach was bugging me. I had to get going. I do apologize. Plus, we had a lot of technical difficulties. Crashes happening left and right. It was just ridiculous. So, yeah. Bad juju on that live stream. But anyway, today we have got to do some exhibit building. All right, so we are going to be adding an exhibit to the zoo. Now, there is a lot of exhibits, but there are a lot of exhibits, proper English, in the zoo already. As you can see, it's these two islands here. They got a whole bunch of exhibits, but this one is going to be in the caviary. All right, we're going back to the caviary. Continue to expand the aviary that's in a cave, or the caviary as you guys have named it, affectionately named it. But before we do that, we actually built another exhibit that was right down there in the last episode. Ow, broke my legs. Right down there in that cave right there in the last episode. And that was the red panda exhibit. And we have to name those things. Actually, we don't really have to, you guys don't have to name them anymore because you already did. You already did. I have sifted through your comments in the last episode and picked out my favorite names. So let's get down and name some red pandas. Now, these red pandas were donated to the zoo by our very favorite spice on the server, Cinnamon. Big old thank you to Cinnamon for donating the pandas here, the red pandas. So we're going to go, the first name for the first one is going to be the most requested name by far, and that is Master Shifu. Okay? That was most requested by a whole lot of people, actually. Master Shifu was requested by Peanut Butter, Grunk Benefica, or Benfica? I think I said that right. Cinnamon himself, so it kind of needed to definitely name one that because, I mean, the guy who gave me the pandas asked to name it that. And Galaxy Horror. So yeah, definitely the most requested name for the red panda. And for the second one, we're going to name this one Rusty, because I think that's a wonderful name for a red panda. And so does Myers Preston and Evan Mouse. Thank you guys for suggesting Rusty. Alright, well now we gotta actually put those animals in there, so we should probably grab them out of here. I don't really see these guys, like, murdering my face. I don't really think they're gonna attack me. They're so adorable. I can't imagine them actually doing that, but if they did, I'd be really sad because I've got thorns on my leggings, so they could quite possibly off themselves. Ow, speaking of offing yourself, I smashed into that pole there. But they could off themselves by biting me and dying on my leggings, so that would be a problem. But alright, their exhibit is actually right down in here. Okay, it's right here. And so we gotta add them in here. I like how this one turned out. I think it looks really snazzy, so I think the red pandas will be really happy in here. So let's get some stuff on the hotbar here so that we can actually drop these guys in. Okay, as I was building this, I kept hearing footsteps, and it's the panda, or it's the penguins on the other side over there, but I kept thinking that they were creepers coming to blow me up, and apparently they are not. So, all right, let's just set this down right there. Release the first one. Oh, look at that. This one is going to be Master Shifu. All right, and then the second one here, these things are so adorable. Look at them. This one is going to be Rusty. There we go. Welcome to the zoo, you two. Hopefully you enjoy your exhibit and enjoy your stay here. I got to skedaddle. Okay, the sun is starting to set. Creepers are going to be creeping here very soon, so I'm getting inside where the caviary is, right here. All right, we got a whole bunch of exhibits in here already with a bunch of birds like flamingos and stuff. But one area that I wouldn't mind kind of clearing out and putting a nice big exhibit in is right here. All right, now we actually have unlimited water right here too, so I can get night vision whenever I want. That's not actually why it's there. It was so that I could put water in this exhibit, because this is the Hammerkop exhibit. I think I pronounced it right. I always said Hammerkop, but apparently it's Hammerkop. I'm probably still mispronouncing it. They're waterfowl from Africa. I didn't know that. You learn something new when you build zoos. But all right, I'm going to be adding an exhibit right here. But to do that, I am going to have to dig out a big old area. All right, because I got to clear this area out. And I think the best way to do that, and I haven't done this in a while, is with a good old-fashioned time lapse. Behold, a hole in the ground. I did it. I dug a hole in the ground. Minecraft, yay, master. All right, so this is a little extension to the cave here. Obviously, I dug out a lot of material there and added this area right here. It's kind of like in the big shape of a D. And you know what that stands for? Eagle. Exactly. That's what we're... Yeah, I know. It doesn't start with a D. That's what we're going to be putting in here. We're going to be putting the bald eagle in right here. I gave it a very big exhibit. It's for one bird. So get your name caps on, your thinking caps on, and come up with a name for a bald eagle. That's what we're putting in here. Okay, so now let's get on to the rest of the episode. Bald eagles, they live in a lot of places here in North America. The place where I live in Wisconsin, they're all over the place. I saw 2 of them today, just on my ride back from work. No joke. I'm not even kidding. There's 2 of them. They were eating some roadkill. Majestic America. So they, I mean, hey, they're birds, you know, they're birds of prey, but I mean, they will absolutely take a free meal if it's laying on the side of the road. So, but yeah, I saw 2 of them today. I saw, I think, another one, I don't know, like 3 or 4 days ago. They're just all over the place where I live here. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to try to model this place after the woods in which I live in, actually, because they're all over the place here. So why not? And that is going to be mainly, it's a lot of conifer trees as well as a lot of, like, you know, leaf-based trees and stuff like that. There's like maples and oaks and stuff. There's just tons of them. It's a heavily forested area, so that's what we're going to kind of go for, except for the heavily part, okay? Because you'll never see the eagle if I made a bunch of trees in here. So what I'm going to do instead is I'm going to try to decorate up the sides, especially the parts that you're not going to be looking in, and maybe like hugging these like pillars, stone pillars right here. And then I'm going to, hello parrot, I'm going to then put like a big tree in the middle holding everything up. And then I think we've done this, so, well, we put trees in basically everything, but I think we've done this, was it the parrot? I think it's the parrot one right here. Yeah, this guy right here. We've done a tree in the middle holding everything up. I'm going to do something similar over here, but put some branches on it that maybe the eagle could land on, and maybe we'll hang like a tire swing or something off of it too, just to give it something to play with. I don't know. We'll worry about that later, but first I'm thinking big like oak tree right here. And I have got a lot of oak wood. All right, so we're just going to do it like a straight up shot, like somewhere right in the middle of the exhibit, like somewhere right around here. We're just going to go straight up with this thing, if the elytra will let me. Up, up. And boop. Boop, got it. All right, so that's like the base of the tree right there. Now we're going to base everything else off of that. I'm going to give it a nice wide girth at the bottom of it. I am going to grab some junk blocks if I have some. Like, just make some stone. I've got a lot of stone. I'm gonna grab some stone. We're gonna make this a petrified tree to save on resources. I'm going to make the core of it stone. Plus, you know, structurally speaking, it's probably a good idea. This is a huge, heavy cave after all, and having a nice stone pillar in the middle would probably be the smartest option. So I'm gonna get to work on actually designing something that kind of looks like a big old-fashioned oak tree trunk here, and then I will be right back. Okay, a whole lot of, like, putting down a lot of wood blocks later. Really not that exciting stuff. I got this, okay? It's kind of a mess. It's a whole lot of wood, and that's about it. But I was looking for a really big oak tree in the middle, and, I mean, I kind of pull it off, as well as having a branch off to the side here so that we can hang something off of it. Yeah, and there's some branches leading up there. Now, obviously, it doesn't just go right into a big stone canopy. I want to actually put some leaves up there. So, let's take a break from the wood for a second. I'm going to actually keep, like, maybe a stack of it in my inventory, though, because I want to add, like, roots in the ground and stuff. I got these kind of root designs coming down right here. Ooh, there's some loose wood there I missed. Look at that. And I want to have some of this extend down into the ground in a little bit. I also need to fix up the ground. It's too flat. It's too boring. All right, so I got to change that up. But that's a future GReimer issue. Screw that guy. Well, I mean, you'll see him in like a few minutes and later in the episode. All right, let's grab the bat backpack. See now, how many? Oh, I have some jungle leaves. How many? Ooh, do I not have a lot of oak leaves? Ooh boy. Okay, well, I might need to go collect a few oak leaves real quick. Okay, I have got a whole lot of oak leaves now, so I can actually get this canopy put in. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to basically line the entire top part of this cave with a big old bushy canopy of oak leaves. Okay, the leaves are put in. All right, so this definitely looks like a big old oak tree in here. I think I nailed that, but I got the little branch here still sticking out. Kind of looks a little derpy, but you know what? Maybe I'll work with that a little bit. But yeah, canopy goes all the way around there. Nice and bushy canopy, so that's what I was going for. So taking up the area. I did squeeze in a couple bits of glowstone up there, so that will give it kind of like an luminescent light coming from up top there. It'd probably be a good idea for me to do what I've done in the other exhibits here too, where I actually punch a hole all the way up through the volcano to the sky to allow some natural light to come in here. So it looks really good. You can really see the zombies and the flamingos when you do that. So it lights it up, especially during the day. I'll probably still do that. I'll probably just kind of add that after we're done with the exhibit. All right, so the ground doesn't look great. It looks really flat. Okay, so I do want to kind of tweak that. First, I gotta hide a lot of these oak leaves. Do a little inventory management here real quick. But let's grab the ground blocks real fast, which I did not put the rest of the grass in because I'm a big old... There we go, got some grass. All right, let's grab a few stacks of this stuff. And we're going to pretty up the landscape here by adding a little bit of elevation change to it in some spots. Just kind of, maybe even kind of nestling or caressing the tree base here a little bit, you know. Although, you know, I was going to like raise it up over here too, but I think it might actually look better if I lower it in some spots. You know, kind of give it a little bit of different shape to the exhibit rather than just putting like an outline around the tree. So, yeah, let me lower the grass here a little bit. Okay, there we go. That looks a little bit better. Less flat now. There's some elevation change to this build. Just a wee bit. It doesn't even really have to be a whole lot. Just something like that, just to give it something more entertaining than just, you know, or something more of an appeal than just a flat ground. Okay, I think that's probably pretty good for the grass blocks for now. I might have to revisit these guys in a little bit. Ooh, actually, I got one bit of granite that I can squeeze in there, as well as all this other garbage. Let's just throw that in there. Okay, so this is looking good. I like this so far, but what other blocks can we put in the ground to make this look more like a forest floor? Let's grab the bat backpack. It's something I desperately need in my life. I started off with a big old tree in this one rather than doing the ground first, which is a little bizarre for me. But you know what? I'll roll with it. Let's grab some coarse dirt for sure. Mud wouldn't be out of the question, especially if there's any kind of water over here, which I could put like a little creek in here or something like that, but I kind of worry that the eagle might drown in it. I don't think the eagle will drown in it. I just, you know, I'm worried that it might. I think they bounce on the water surface, actually, in the mod pack, but I'm not 100% sure, so I'm going to leave the water out of it. Again, I'm not trying to actually create a saw death trap for these animals. I'm actually trying to keep them alive. Let's grab some podzol. I'm thinking it will be a good one, too. And then for the final one, let's grab the ground blocks here. And it is definitely in here. Gravel right there. That's what I'm looking for. All right, so with this combination of browns and a little bit of gray combined with the grass that's already here and maybe a couple path blocks, I'm thinking that we can get this looking like the forest floor. So let's start off with the coarse dirt. Okay, one quick pass through and the coarse dirt is down, bam, just like that. Let's get this out of the hotbar real quick, bring the gravel back down. I'm thinking podzol next. Let's add some podzol. I'm not going to go too heavy on the podzol. I'm going to kind of sporadically space this out a little bit. But I do want to make sure I get this nice colored brown in here. Podzol is good for making it look like the forest floor. Sorry, folks, it's not only used for making a poop pile. It looks like poop. I get it. It's the poop color, but it makes for a good forest floor too. Okay, Sporadic Podzol placed. That's a pretty solid band name too. Sporadic Podzol, Sporadic Grass, Sporadic Dirt. Sporadic something. Probably just sporadic would make for a pretty good band name. Okay, so now I'm just going to dot in a couple bits of gravel here or there. I'll probably add more of this later because I'm thinking about adding a rock pile somewhere hidden throughout all this. I'm thinking that'll probably look really good. But for right now, I'm just going to randomly dot this in here wherever I feel. Okay, that is the ground done. It's not much right now, but remember, we're going to put some path blocks in here. There's going to be some heavy foliage, too. This is supposed to represent the forest floor, so I want to make sure that there's, like, bushes and stuff. Although, I guess when you think about it, usually forest floors have, like, a big canopy on them, kind of like this one. And they don't get a lot of sunlight down at the bottom. Okay, so it's going to be a modified forest floor where it does get sunlight at the bottom, so we're going to put plants and stuff down here. So, I will put the path blocks in after we get some like the main bushes down. So let's hop into the bat backpack here. Let's yeet some of this coarse dirt back into there because we don't need a podzol too. Okay, so then let's grab... We need some bushes for the forest floor. So brown birch leaves I think will look pretty good, as well as maybe sprinkling in some spruce. I don't really want to use oak because we used a lot of oak up there. So we'll stick to these two kind of more blah colors for right now because it should look a little bit demure because, you know, it's in there's a canopy and it's not really all that alive. I know I just lied. I said we're going to make a lively one. We're not going to. I changed my mind just abruptly right now. You watched it in live or in replay action. All right, let me get some bushes put down and see if I can make this look kind of like a forest. Okay, bushes have been added all throughout the exhibit, and I also took this opportunity to remove the torches and add some hidden lighting in here via glowstone underneath the bushes, because I think that works out really well. You really gotta get in there to actually see it down there. But the problem is when you're hiding it that well, because people are gonna be up top, so I can't just like put it like a block under the ground because people can just see it, you know. So I gotta kind of hide it. But by hiding it that well, you can kind of see that one pretty good. But by hiding it that well, it doesn't really illuminate too well on up here at all, you know. And also, I noticed that when I remove the torches, the top part up here, the canopy looks really dark. Okay, so I might have to hide a couple more pieces up there or something. You can see that one like right there. You can see some hiding up there too. So there's glowstone hidden up there, but it doesn't really brighten it up too much. I mean, there's no torches in here anymore, so this is actually lit up fairly well. This is another reason why I like to burrow up to the surface and get some natural light in here for at least during the day. It's nice and bright in here then. But I'll worry, like I said, I'll worry about that after I get done building this exhibit. So I'm thinking this is pretty good. Right here I left this kind of open because if I'm going to put a stone pile, I'm going to probably throw it right here. And you know what? I think that might be what I do next. So let's grab, I got a little bit of stone. I got some gravel right here. Can I see a little bit of like cobblestone? There we go, get some cobble slabs. I actually have a couple right up here too. And let's actually slap down like a hunk of rock, like right there, okay? And then we'll build the stone pile in around this. Something kind of like that. It's nothing fancy, but it's just like a little chunk of rocks is sitting in there. Now, with this, though, I can absolutely try to hide some more hidden lighting in here, okay? So like if I were to like remove this, for example, and pop that down right there, I could then take the leaves that I had before. Let's grab some of those things. I had, which ones were they again? They had the brown ones, and then I had the spruce leaves. Let's take these guys again, see if we can't hide this lighting just a little bit. Rip that up real quick again. Put that right there. And we will do another like kind of like partial leaf pile behind the stone pile right there, like that. Okay, so that way we'll add a little bit more brightness in this area too, and keep it hidden as well, while adding the stone pile. It kind of works out great. Okay, I'm thinking that's pretty good. I would add like the ZAWA branches. You know, they actually have like these things. Don't mind the woo that I have going on right there. These guys, these branches. I would add these things to this because I think they look really good. But they look good on like a smaller scale, and this is a very large tree, so I might just leave them out of this one. And I could add them to the bushes to make it look a little bit more detailed, but I think they look just fine how they are right now. All right, let's toss the leaves back where they came from whence they came, and sort some inventory here real quick before moving on to the. There's a zombie over there. Before moving on to the rest of the foliage. And before moving on to the rest of the foliage, I did mention how I wouldn't mind actually adding the roots in the ground a little bit, kind of like that, in some spots. I think that'll look very nice, like a added detail of the tree actually being embedded in the ground. So I'm going to go ahead and add a couple of these things in places, just to give it a little bit more of a plant look, more of a big old tree look. All right, so this part is all done now. I got some roots embedded in the ground. I think it looks really good. Oh my gosh, these zombies, I swear. How many are over there? I see on the radar that it's kind of like a party over there. So let's go take a peek. What do we got going on? There's creepers, there's zombies, there's all sorts of stuff. There are a couple of flamingos in there, but there's so much other stuff. It's ridiculous. There's the zombies down there doing their little zombie thing, making all that racket. Let me just kind of get out of here real quick and get them to despawn so they're not as noisy. Ah, a little peace and quiet. Thank God for the despawning thing mechanic, right? All right, so now that we got those guys out of the way, let's get on to the rest. I have one rocket, man. I really need to make more of those things. Let's get on to the rest of the plants in this exhibit here. So, okay, forest. All right, so bushes I'm thinking will look good. And their sprouts are going in every exhibit from now until the end of time because I've got a lot of them on the island and I need to get rid of them. So sprouts are going in. Dune grass, not so much, I don't think. Although I could make it work. I could make it work and look like it's actually in the forest. But I think this stuff only goes on sand, if I'm not mistaken. Maybe I'll go on like the coarse dirt, but it doesn't need to. Legumes, sure. I think it's, yeah, we'll just throw that in there because I have one of them and I need to use it. Some leaf piles, I'll use these things up, but I don't really have a whole lot of them. So let's just kind of sprinkle these in, especially on blocks where they can be seen. Apparently they don't go on there. They don't go on there either. What do these things go on? Okay, they can go on there. Let's just dot a couple of these things in. Nothing too fancy, just to kind of use them up. Where's our legume going? Our legume is going to have to go someplace epic, someplace fantastic, someplace like right here. Okay, Let's grab these bushes and dot these around here too. Okay, so these bushes, I don't remember if these are the ones that grow berries on them or not, but if they are, that's fine. Yeah, are these like this? Oh, these are biomes with plenty ones. I don't know if these grow bushes are berries on them, but you know what? It's fine if they do. It'll look good anyway. So, all right, let's eat the rest of those things back in there. Sprouts, you're going in all over the place, everywhere. Okay, or you're almost like gonna be the substitute for tall grass. Okay, there's a lot of sprouts added, maybe a couple more. Oh my god, the flamingos, I swear. What else can we throw in here? Where is it? The universal plant. I need it in my life. Why am I not seeing it? It's right here, Johnson's grass. All right, this goes in absolutely every exhibit. Aquatic exhibits, doesn't really matter. It goes in everywhere. Let's just throw this in like somewhere like right back here for one. And then we'll put another one standalone on its own, and then maybe one more over here as well. So just like that. Johnson's grass goes in absolutely every exhibit. It's amazing. It's my favorite plant in the game. Toadstools, let's bring these things down here, because with this big old tree right here, it would be great if there's a couple of toadstools growing either on it like that, just or on the base of it. I think it would make a lot of sense. So we'll just sprinkle in a couple of them, and maybe we'll have one kind of venturing off a little bit farther away from the base like that. So we got some toadstools circling around the base. I like it. I only got 9 of those. I'm gonna have to take some time to grab more. I do have the brown mushrooms from Minecraft, but those spread, and I'm not really interested in that. All right, so we got the Johnson's grass put in there. That's good. What else can we throw in this to make it look kind of like it is a forest floor? Ferns? Ferns would make sense. Okay, ferns have been added. Where's the dead stuff? Where's the dead bushes? I'm going to sprinkle in 1 or 2 of these things as well. I think the brown color actually looks really good. And plus, when you're dealing with a place that has a huge canopy overhead, you're bound to have a couple of like plants like die off because they don't get enough sunlight. So it actually makes sense to sprinkle these things in here. All right, I think that looks pretty good. Looks pretty good, not gonna lie. I'm liking it quite a bit. I don't know if there's anything else I want to add. Maybe a couple bits of wilted grass just for funsies, but I don't want to make it look like a swamp. So I'm just gonna put in a couple of dots of this here or there. Just some grass that might be struggling, you know, as well as maybe even some short grass. I could do this especially on the dirt like this, or the oh, not the gravel. Can't do it on the gravel. Podzol for sure. I could do that. A couple of bits of short grass here or there. Really kind of make it add, really add a little bit of extra detail to the whole thing. Yep, I'm thinking that's pretty good. Let's go ahead and put the short grass back. I would grab dead grass, but let's grab desert grass and see. Can I put this? I can put this on regular stuff. All right, we're just going to once again throw this in just in sporadically in places, just to give it the look that some of the grass didn't make it because of the canopy overhead. All right, nothing too fancy, nothing too much either. I don't really want to make it look like this place is dead. But I think that might be it for foliage. I think we might be good. Honestly, this is looking pretty solid. This looks like a forest floor. The main exhibit here is actually the tree. You know, the tree is the big thing. So that's what's really going to... Well, the eagle is going to be the, the big thing. But this is the appeal of the exhibit. It's the big tree in the middle. I don't think there's anything else that we have to add. So let's go into the flowers backpack. We're talking about forest flowers here. What would look good as forest flowers? Where's wildflowers? Wildflowers would probably look good as a forest flowers. So let's go ahead and just kind of dot these things in a little bit. I don't want to make it look like there's a flower field in here or anything like that. So let's just put maybe one more somewhere like right there. That's probably pretty good. Is there any like bluish colored ones that would look really good? Cornflowers, yeah. Blue orchids I think are a little too blue. Azaleas, I think those are too tall. Violets, they're not blue, but they're like purple, which these kind of already are. So you know what? Maybe we'll put like one, and that's it. We'll just put one. All right, I do want to put some blue colored in here, so maybe we will actually put like a cornflower or two in here, because I think blue would look really good with the kind of the pink and the purplish colors that we have. So maybe a couple of them like that. Yeah, alright, so now before we continue on with putting down any like tall grass or using any bone meal or anything like that, I think now is the time I want to go through with a shovel, and I want to mat down some of this stuff to give the forest floor a whole new look. Okay, there we go. Got the path blocks kind of added in here periodically. Now, the eagle's not going to be stomping around on the ground too much, I don't believe. So, I think that should be fine and dandy the way it is. Now, I guess the lighting in here isn't too shabby. It's not too bad, actually. I kind of like it. I mean, it's a little dark and creepy, but we are in a cavey area after all. So maybe I'll just leave it for now, and it'll probably brighten up a lot once I punch holes through, the top part, I'm thinking. But what can we add in here to give it a little bit of pizzazz, a little bit of fun for the eagle. What about that tire swing? Wouldn't that be kind of a fun thing to add in here? Tire swings are black concrete and rope. I think I have some of that back at the base, so I got to take a little snooze and then take a little trip back to my hidey hole. Alright, I don't have black concrete, but I do have black concrete powder. So let's just kind of throw a couple bits of it here in the water. Dip it in the ocean, as you would normally do to make, concrete. You dip it in oceans. But alright, we got the black concrete. We got everything we need to actually make the tire swing. So let's get on back to the cavey area and add that to it so that the eagle will have something to play with. Oh yeah, this exhibit I'm thinking is looking pretty good. I'm liking it a lot for an eagle. Yeah, okay, we're gonna hang the tire swing right off of there. Now I need to make it, so I need a crafting grid someplace that doesn't have a bunch of stuff in it. All right, let's do that right there. Grab the rope, tire swing, got it. Now I did grab a couple extra pieces of rope though, because I believe, top down here, I believe we can just like do this, yeah, and then hang that. Like so, oh, okay, it's sideways. I thought it was like the other way around, but that's actually fine. That'll work great. That'll probably work even better for the thing. All right, we've added a tire swing for the eagle, and we also grabbed some more balls while we were back in our hidey hole there. So let's eat those things because I was running out of those for sure. I don't know what else I want to add to this for the eagle exhibit. I think this looks fine. That bird just scared me. I think this looks fine the way it is. I think this looks pretty good, pretty snazzy. Oh, actually, hold on. Nope, I lied. I lied to your guys' face, to your ears. Where? I don't see them in there. Okay, to your face and ears and all that other fun jazz. Do I have stone anywhere? Jeep, it's there. Jeep. All right, let's fix this situation. We're gonna make a whole stack of buttons. Every exhibit isn't finished until it has pebbles laying on the ground. So let's get in here and kind of dot in a couple of these things here, especially around the stone pile. That makes a lot of sense. Yeah, let me get some rocks thrown in here a little bit so that it actually looks like it's got like chunks of stone and stuff dotted all over the place. I'll put one more like right there. Okay, now the exhibit is done. I almost forgot that crucial detail. Well, the exhibit on the inside is done anyway. I think that looks fine and dandy the way it is. Now, let's get on to the other part of the exhibit, which is the glass barrier. Now, I didn't really do a very good job at preparing for this spot right here because this doesn't really work. Where's that? Oh, I turned all that stone into buttons. Whoops. Let's grab some more stone here. What we're going to do is we're going to bring this out just a hair, and then that'll give me something maybe to go alongside of, possibly. Let me grab the glass here. And I'm gonna work on getting this glass actually put into the exhibit. Okay, it ain't pretty. It's not pretty, but I mean, I can probably fix it up a little bit in some spots if I really try hard enough. It's not pretty, but I do have the glass actually put in here now. So it does look like it's kind of nestled inside the cavern wall a little bit. Some of this needs some work, but I can get it to work. I'm sure I can if I believe hard enough. Yeah, okay, that should work. It'll keep the eagle inside there. That's the important part. I learned from the flamingos. I learned from that disaster. Remember when I built this place and I thought it was good, and then I found them halfway up the volcano like an episode later? Yeah, we're not going to have that happen with the eagle, or the eagle's going to stay in there for sure. But yeah, I'm thinking that's it. I think that's a complete eagle exhibit. What do you guys think? Does this look like a forest floor with a big old oak tree in the middle of it? Because that's what it's supposed to look like. That's what I was aiming for. I don't know, but I have one eagle. One eagle. Okay? Only one. So, if you guys could go down in the comment section and give me your best eagle name, I would really, really greatly appreciate it. But alrighty guys, I'm going to get on out of here. So thank you guys so much for donating your eyeballs and ear holes to this episode of ZAWA. I really greatly do appreciate it. If you did enjoy it, please go down and hit that like button before you go. Have yourself a wonderful rest of your weekend, and I will see you guys later. Bye-bye!